everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's the Falcons going up against the Broncos. With that, let's go out to Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Here's Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, we are at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, as you get a look at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Denver Broncos. They come out here in the eye. Now a carry. It's C.J. Anderson. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. The offensive lineup now, and the guy we highlight, Emmanuel Sanders.
You can use him in any spot as a wide receiver. In the slot, out wide. It doesn't matter. He just makes plays.
On second down, Lynch. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And here we go. We get to see the Falcons again on offense, a crew that last year scored 540 points, tied for 8th most all time. But my question is this, such a crushing Super Bowl loss in the offseason, does that set you back big time, or does that fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward?
It should fuel and feed you momentum-wise going forward, partner. That's exactly how it's supposed to react, and that's what you'll see in the Falcons locker room in the entire offseason. They'll talk about finishing, unfinished business, things of that nature. But we have seen where teams have not recovered from it. Remember the Rams? They got to a Super Bowl, got beat by the Patriots, didn't get back there again. The Broncos in 2013, number one offense, number one scoring offense. They didn't get back in 2014, but they did in 2015. So you can recover from that.
12 yards is the pickup there, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
On first down, it's Lynch. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Virgil Green is tied in, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Now Lynch. And that is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Benny Fowler that time, and it's 4th down.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation...
And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And look at this. They're keeping the punter on the sideline. They're going to go for it here on the opening drive. 4th down. Here's Lynch. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. 6 yards on the pickup. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
Well, it all came together on that one, didn't it?
Big-time throw on 4th.
Now, that had to feel good, didn't it? Taking that type of a gamble there and making it pay off. What a throw.
And tough as a receiver because no matter how perfect the pass, you know it's 4th down and you got to convert.
A little bit of extra pressure, but he overcame it.
Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back.
Lynch fighting. He fumbles. He lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession. One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So they get the field goal, but part of that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally, when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't. But really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
And they're going to go soft on the corners. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Here's the offense, and we talk about the tight end, Jacob Tammett.
A lot of people thought of him as simply a safety valve receiver. He can be a primary receiver. Jacob Tammett shows better athleticism than what people expect.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. The left side completion to Jones. Over 1,400 yards last year for Jones. Just 6 touchdowns, but, you know, of course he had the big 300-yard game. However, when he was blanketed with coverage, he always opens things up for other guys, doesn't he?
He does, and that's what's benefited Atlanta's offense. Other guys were able to step up. In 2016, Mohamed Sanu stepped up and had his best year as a pro. Austin Hooper, as a young tight end, really developed down the stretch. And Taylor Gabriel, who had come over as a free agent from Cleveland, he really flushed, actually led the team in touchdown catches. But there's only one Julio Jones, and you want to get the ball to him as much as possible. It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Here's Coleman on the toss. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Tevin Coleman, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
They'll throw on first down with Lynch. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
It's caught by Sanders. Sanders, the former SMU product, had 79 catches last year, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. They're going to need more of him in Denver if they want to get back into the playoffs.
Part of a great tandem, he and Demaryius Thomas, and Demaryius plays out wide. He's one of those guys that you send him out there and let him work one-on-one and use his big body and his big frame to get open. Emmanuel Sanders, he has the ability to work inside as well, and he's not just quick, he's also fast, and he's dependable for a quarterback because a lot of the routes he runs are right in the sight line. Easy throws for a QB.
Thomas, the lone receiver, left. Now Lynch on first down. Forced out to his left. Room here to run. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out. Lynch looking to throw on second. And that's complete to Sanders. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it first and goal.
This offense is in rhythm now, just accumulating first downs and moving the ball downfield.
They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. They'll run for it with Anderson. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Got to give a lot of credit to the defensive front there. They held their ground, pretty much stoned them on that play.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. C.J. Anderson taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Broncos have retaken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with the battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. They'll come out in the pistol. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Oh, wide open, complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 54 yards. And the Falcons have once again taken the lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Over the middle this time to Fowler. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 19 yards that time for number 19.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And Sanders has got it complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
On the ground, it's Thompson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game. That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2, and that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Now it's Lynch. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. He hit his first, this one from 38. And McManus able to put it through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out.
Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout.
And when you watch Devontae Freeman run the football, you can almost close your eyes and hear him running the football, can't you? Because people just scatter. I mean, you know, when he goes through a pile, it moves in a positive direction for him. I just love how hard he plays the game.
1,000-yard season. He had 11 touchdowns last year. In March, 25 years old. So he's kind of hitting that sweet spot for running back, isn't he?
He really is. And I still remember the evaluation of him coming out of college. He does everything well, but you weren't sure he had a dominant trait. Well, wrong about that. He's dominant just about everything he does, and I think that he's going to continue to elevate his game and seek a 3rd Pro Bowl in 2017.
He's going to go up top again. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
I know exactly why he tried to throw the ball to Julio Jones there. He's never considered covered. He's either too fast or too strong. You always try and get it to him.
Especially on those deep passes. So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. See if they stay on the ground for second down. On second down, Lynch. And he's got it, complete to Fowler. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. In the red zone this time. So third down, and the Falcons going with a dime, 6 defensive backs. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. They're just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Now Lynch to throw, and he slings one that's incomplete. Second and 10, it's Lynch again. That is caught, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Their dangerous wide receiver, a 15-yard touchdown grab, and the Broncos have once again taken the lead. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Akeem Talib. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Second down and 4. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. On second down, here's Lynch. Flushed out right. On the right side, caught by Green. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And now a first down following that long gain. They'll throw on first down with Lynch. Being chased out left. Left side here to Sanders. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And certainly a valuable tool to have in your kit, Emmanuel Sanders, and he's shown us quite a bit in this one.
And that's why they want to use him immediately. You know they come out of the locker room and say, let's get the ball to him, get our offense jump-started, and in this case, it's worked throughout.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And the lead is now 13. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Now Ryan on second down. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Coleman, the man in motion left. Third and long. It's Ryan. He's going to air one out. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many out to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And with great field position here, chance for some points before the break.
That's prime real estate. Just have to decide how they want to try and take their shot to try and put those points on the board.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. Final play of the half. It's Lynch. Lynch fighting. He fumbles. He lost the football. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air. There's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And the Falcons now making their way back out onto the field. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Bradley Roby, the quarterback, there to make the stop.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Try to lay one up deep. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And it's 4th down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is...
And whistle blown. A timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears try to go for it on 4th. They'll indeed go for it with Ryan. He's going to let it go again. And it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They come out here in the eye. Now it's Lynch. Green with a catch left side. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
9 yards on the play there, and it sets them up first and goal. Fresh set of downs here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. To throw is Lynch. That's complete right around the 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Partner, nothing complicated here. This is just a pretty simple drag route.
You're exactly right, Brandon. Instead of throwing it downfield, they just throw it underneath and let the receiver do the work.
Second and goal. Defense digging in again here. Now Anderson. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It goes as a loss of 6. And now third down. Now from back at the 9 after that last play. This is third and goal. Lynch with it on third and goal. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And McManus able to put it through, and that will swell the lead to 16. So 3 field goals for him here, and this last one helps him stretch out the lead.
And he's been solid as usual. And this is what you need to do. Make sure you get points out of every possession, and so far they've done a nice job of that.
So out come the Falcons now. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and over.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. They'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill, or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
The fumble, but they're able to maintain possession. Now it's 2nd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Here's Ryan to throw. He sets to fire deep. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. He's going to try and go deep again. And this is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, 64 yards. And the Falcons cut into that lead. To throw forward is Ryan. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. Oh, jumping over. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. Again, Anderson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack, and on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Throwing, Lynch toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds. And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well? I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Now Thompson. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there. Second down. So 2nd and 10 here. They're trying to establish that running game, but they're really, really having trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, when you're running against a really good 4-3 defense, that means you've got big guys inside who control things. Those big defensive tackles are making it very difficult to find open space.
And Green with a catch left side. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. On 1st down, it's Lynch. And his throw is incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Now it's Lynch. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit. And that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me complete.
C.J. Anderson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. C.J. Anderson, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And the lead is up to 15 now. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here now come the Falcons. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent. But you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
He's going to go for a big play downfield. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, partner, I think the defensive fella's got the memo, and they decided to cover him on that play.
Yeah, he's already up over 100 yards in this game. They tried a deep shot, couldn't get him.
Yeah, when you've had that much success, finally someone said, let's try and put a stop to it and put people on him.
On 3rd down, Ryan. It's caught. Jones. A good pickup there, a 22. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
They decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice, able to get a hand in and tip it away.
Second and 10. It's Ryan again. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the fourth. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And Denver